What's up? What's up? What's up? It's Herb Hill, to Keep It Trill podcast. How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? I'm feeling good. I'm blessed. Trying to stay away from the stress. I hope everybody's doing well. Um, I seen a couple interesting things come up. Not, I wouldn't say come up. It's kind of the things I live. Really, um, we 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 live in a world where you can't talk about God. You can't talk about Jesus because it offends people. It offends people to talk about Jesus. And people get offended when you talk about, I'm not religious and I don't believe in religion, but when you talk about your walk, I put it like this. We live in a world where it's easy to talk about sin. It's easy to talk about flesh. It's easy to talk about worldliness or ignorance, but anything of knowledge, anything of substance, anything of truth, anything of God, people don't want to hear it. You can share all day your little fraternity stories or your Masonic beliefs and all that stuff, and people won't budge. You know what I mean? Like, it's okay. You can say, hey man, we were getting drunk, we were partying, we were smoking and doing lines and all that. That's fine. That's cool. You know what I mean? That's not offensive to anybody. But when you start talking about Jesus, people get really tender. They get really sensitive. And I'm the type of person, I'm going to talk about what's important to me. I'm passionate about telling the truth. I'm passionate about, exposing the things of this world, because that all leads up to Jesus. And for me, it is a part of Jesus to me, because I see things completely different than my peers, majority of my peers. I mean, there's not too many 31-year-old people walking for the Lord right now and trying to do the right thing. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. I do things wrong, but I'm saying, like, I'm trying to do my best. And my wife and my kids, I'm trying to do the best for them as well. And I'm the head of the house. So I'm the head in general of my household for my wife and my children. So I have to continue to lead us closer to the Lord. And he's leading my wife. He's leading me, individually, but I'm the head of my family. So he's leading us. He's leading me to lead us, and he's leading me. So, like, people get really tender when you talk about Jesus, when you talk about truth. They don't want to hear it. Nobody wants to hear it. But like I said, people can come to you and talk about, man, I smoked this strain of weed, and they was doing this last week. They was smoking and partying and cutting up and doing all this. But for somebody that don't do those things, people still want to have that conversation. But when you start talking about Jesus, people run away. They get tender. They get sensitive. They get offended, because whatever is in you, and the reason why that is, the reason why you get tender or sensitive or offended by when I talk about Jesus, or when somebody talks about Jesus, you feel judged, but it ain't you feeling judged. It's that resisting spirit in you. Whatever is resisting Jesus in you is what makes you feel that way. I've had people say some cruel stuff to me just sharing a post about Jesus. I lost so many people in my life, and I'm cool with it, because I know that based on how I'm living my life now, you weren't supposed to be here. You weren't supposed to be around me all this time, but I finally hit my stride. I figured out what my purpose was, and I figured out the truth, and now here I am. Now everybody around me, family, friends, foes, enemies, co-workers, peers, whatever, people start revealing their true characters after that. When I was living in sin, I was cool with everybody. I didn't have no problem with nobody. I mean, the one thing I didn't like was a phony individual. If you had inconsistencies in your character, if you switched up every time somebody came around, I knew to stay away from you. That's a red flag for me. Phoniness. You switching it up every time you get around somebody else, like, I'm thinking you faking with me. So I'll look at your character. If your character ain't who it always is, then I can't be around you. And if I'm growing and you stand in the same place and you trying to pull me down to your level when I can't lift you up, then I'm out. Because there's no point of us even kicking it or being friends if we in two different places. If I'm going to college and trying to do right and having a family, you talking about, oh, come hang out, man. I'm kicking it with these girls and I need you to, no. I'm faithful. I'm married. I got a family. I ain't losing that over no piece of flesh. You know what I mean? So, like I said, when you talk about the Lord to people, they get offended. They don't want to like you no more. They dislike you. They talk about you. They say a lot of crazy things about you, but that's my walk. That's my life. So if you don't want to hear anything about my life, then there's no need for us to speak anymore. And we live in a world where, like I said, everything that is not right is sensationalized. It's glorified. Everything that is not right, everybody talks about. Everything that is not right, everybody shares and posts and is accepted. Sin is accepted in this world. All types of sin is accepted in this world, and it's not good. For a man of God like myself, who's trying to walk and do right, I can see everything wrong. And it ain't me saying it's wrong, it's the Lord saying it's wrong. And if the Lord says it's wrong, it ain't right with me. If it's wrong to the Lord, it's wrong to me. And that's how I live. I don't support homosexuality and all that stuff. I don't support drinking and alcoholism and drugs and all these different things and drinking. And like I've smoked weed at a point in my life. Maybe if I can put it all together, maybe a week and a half of my life. That's how many times I smoke weed. And I'm saying one time a day. So a week and a half is probably like 11, 12 days. That's how much I've smoked in my life. And me drinking alcohol is probably 2 months worth. And I'm talking about all the days all together. I don't like it. I didn't like it then. And I don't like it now. So, and I have testimonies when it comes to that stuff because I know it ain't good for me. And that was the Lord leading me away from those things. But when I give my life to the Lord, the first, the biggest, I guess not temptation because I'm not tempted by those things, but I guess adversity, I should say. One thing I didn't like was people being mad at me. I try to be a people person or a people pleaser to a point. Like I had my line drawn in the sand, but the thing is, when I was in school, I was in college and I gave my life to the Lord like 2 months after I started school. So before those 2 months, I was hanging out with this female and, and that was pretty much it. But when my birthday came, when I turned 24, I think, or 25 or 20, I think I turned 24. I turned 24. Everybody in my class was like, Herb, let's hang out, let's drink, let's smoke. I'm like, who told y'all I did this? I don't drink and smoke no more, you know what I mean? Because I didn't like it, and I was out of the club scene. I think I went out one time. But, like, I just kind of cut everybody off. But these people in my class, they got mad at me because I didn't want to do it. But I had just given my life to the Lord like 2 or 3 months before that. And I definitely was against it because I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that to please anybody. But I was so frustrated because I didn't want to let anybody down. But I had to realize something, like, you're not gonna pull me to hell with you. I don't want to do it. And if you don't respect my no, then maybe we don't need to speak anymore. Because no means no, right? That means no, right? No means no. It doesn't matter how I say no. If I say nah, if I say no, if I say hell no, if I say F-U-C-K no, like no is no. So why don't people respect that? It's we call it peer pressure, but it's temptation. And the way Satan wants to get you is to bait you into sinning. Especially early on for me, because I know drinking will mess me up. I would have 3-day hangovers, all that. And marijuana really never did anything for me. It just left a nasty taste in my mouth with a bad headache. You know, like, I don't get the point of it. Because it ain't doing nothing for me, so why am I smoking? You know, but the results of me doing those things did not weigh, they weren't good. So, and then I felt guilt. Even when I lived in sin, I remember the first time I drank, I cried. The first time I smoked weed, I cried because it's bigger than me. Because when my father passed, I made a promise to myself, but really it was to him that I would never do those things. I will never do drugs. I will never smoke. I will try to do the best I can in school. I will be a faithful man. These are the things I made a promise to my father, with. I tried to be a better man than he was. I honored my father by trying to be a better man than he was. Now, people can call me crazy, call me what you want, call me lame. That's what I did. I try to be a better man than my father. So if anybody got any issue with anything that I'm saying, you take it up with your mama. I ain't even talking crazy. I'm just saying, like, take it up with your mama, because I don't have time to be stroking nobody's egos. Like, I know what I did and what I said. Now, that was then when I was a kid. I got older. I tried those things and I didn't like them. And I told you, I felt like crap after I did it the first time. I felt like crap after I did it the second time, the third time. You know what I mean? And every time I did it, I felt like crap. So as I got older, I gave my life to the Lord. I knew that the things I was doing was wrong, because it had been revealed to me that drugs is the spirit of sorcery. Alcohol is the spirit of sorcery. It's witchcraft. Whether people want to believe it or not, it is what it is. If you don't want to hear it, you can go look it up in the Bible if you want, or look up what sorcery is. Maybe you can start there. But that ain't my problem. I'm telling you. Now, you can either deny it or you can believe it. Because people will say, oh, the Bible's been tampered with. Even if it's not tampered with. If there's a book of law, people believe the law books over the Bible. The Bible is for your spirit. The law book is for you to act right in this world. There's laws for you to act right in this world, but you got commandments to do. You can obey the law, but you can't obey the law of the Lord. You can obey the law of the land, but you can't obey the law of the Lord. Whether you believe or not, you know what I mean? Those things that he say, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal. You know what I mean? Those are commendable things that we shouldn't be doing in the first place. You know what I mean? Like, don't hurt people. Don't talk to people crazy. Don't disrespect people. Those are like good moral things. But in this world, it's like, it's okay to do that. But look at the people look at all the people that are calling the shots. These elitists, these Freemasons, these politicians, these ball players, these doctors, these lawyers, these judges, all these people are no good. And here we are in the world that is Satan's playground, because Satan is the god of this world, because Adam and Eve. Now here we are, stuck in a rock and a hard place if you're trying to do right, because all you see is all this bad stuff going on. All these bad politicians and these liars and these demons and devils on the TV all day long. Now we got to follow what they want us to do. Now they trying to tell us to go get poked and fall in line. They told us to put on the mask and fall in line. But ain't none of these things good for us. And my philosophy is, if we wasn't born with it, we don't need it. If I wasn't born with these things on my face, or this inoculation that they created, or this concoction that they created and put in a needle for me to inject, if I wasn't born with that stuff, and I don't need it now. Because there's nothing that needs to run through my body but this blood and this Holy Spirit. That's it. That's all I need is my blood, my breathing, and the Holy Spirit. That's what I need. I don't need a poke to make me feel safe. Or I don't need a poke to say, oh, I'm going to avoid getting sick. I'm going to get sick. I don't want to get the sickness that's out there, but I'm saying I'm going to catch a cold. I'm going to get the sniffles. That's part of life. I'm going to get a runny nose or a sore throat every now and then. Like, that's a part of life. Some people don't. But we listening to these Freemasons who are all Satan worshipers. We listen to them all the time. On everything you see. All the movies, all the shows, all the games, all the video game creators, all this stuff that we see, commercials. Nowadays, everything we see is of Satan. Now, y'all actually see now that people are actually dressing up as like a real live Satan now. That Lil Nas X dude and pushing this Satanism stuff. This is what they do. Now we live in a world where they pushing Satan now, but you can't pray in school. You can't talk about Jesus because people get offended. People get tender when you talk about Jesus, but when you talk about Satan, people make fun and laugh and joke. Ain't that backwards? That's the most backwards thing in the world. And you talk about Jesus, they say, oh, that ain't his name. His name ain't Jesus. His name is this and y'all sure blah, 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 blah. Everybody got a reason to try to downplay Jesus or change his appearance. They've been doing this stuff. They've been lying to us. They've been misleading us. And now here we are comfortable with being misled that when somebody finally comes out and tells the truth, you don't want to hear it. You can't warn people about what's coming ahead because I know. I know what's coming ahead. The Lord is not going to be merciful to those who don't seek him right now. Now, if you're not seeking him now and he comes back, it's over for you. And I pray that he gives you another chance. But when he comes back, it's over. Last night on the way to the gym, I heard this man on the radio talking, and he was talking about, he said, but I've seen this in the Bible as well. It says in the Bible, it says, don't fear who can kill the body, but fear who can kill the body and destroy the soul. The only person that can destroy the soul is Jesus. That's it. Satan can't destroy your soul. He can take it or make you think that he got it. I doubt you can give it to him, but he has something over you when you do it. But people push Satan and say Jesus ain't real. Let's think about this for a second. Oh, what I was saying was the man on the radio was saying, for those that are believers, death is the portal to Jesus. Death is the way, because when we die, we face him in the spirit. But in this world, we're in the flesh. We don't see him. And that is why he died for us. The second life, the afterlife, eternal life. Now, these people rather choose the physical world to have their temporary life and use it all up and sell out and do all this craziness that's of this world, and it's like it gets you nowhere, but that's what they want. Hey, I'm not coming against nobody. You do whatever it is that you want to do, but when somebody's doing something completely different than you have no choice. You can't say anything. You just be quiet and watch that man sitting in the corner by himself praying, or watch that woman walking down the street praying, or watch that family sitting right there praying as they're about to eat dinner. You sit there and watch. Call them weird, call them lame, call them crazy, whatever it is that you want. But just know, you're going to have to answer to everything. The same God that I'm praying to is the same God you're going to have to answer to. Just know that. And, you know, like I said, we live in a world where you can't talk about nothing good. But everything bad is all in your face, up and down, all day long. Like these Freemasons, man, are wild. They're crazy. Lunatics. You can't say I'm a man of God. You can't even share no type of insight with nobody. You know what I mean? Like, you can't say no to something that these devils want you to do, or they're going to try to inflict pain on you. I don't think I'm scared to die, but I'm not going to sign up to die. I think if I do fear death, I fear death because I want to protect my children and my wife. That's the only thing I fear, is not being able to protect them physically and praying for them spiritually. That's what I fear the most. But as of me being afraid to die, I'm not afraid to die, but I'm not going to sign up for it. I'm not going to let you put something in my right or my left arm to speed that up. I don't trust no idols. All these celebrities that we, oh, this is my favorite actor, this is my favorite ball player, this is my favorite entertainer, blah, 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 this is my favorite musician. All these people that are telling you to do something that you didn't decide to do, the only reason why they're doing it is because Satan is telling them to do it, aka their industry. Morgan Freeman got on TV not too long ago and was like, if you trust me, you would trust me to get the poke. Go get the poke if you trust me. And that's crazy, that somebody can think that they're so big that you can tell somebody to do based on them liking you, which there's a lot of fools in this world that will do it because they like somebody. I don't like nobody like that. I really don't. Not to do something that I don't want to do. You know, and I'm a part of my flesh is like, go get that new iPhone, but I know I don't need it. I really want it. And that's my flesh, but I know I don't need it. I don't want no super 5G phone. I got a good phone right now. I can dial and call. I don't talk to nobody, so why do I need a new phone? Just have something to play with? You know what I mean? Like, that's how your flesh works. It tells you, oh, go get it. Go get it. You can do it. I got 3 upgrades right now, but I'm not using them because I don't need it. Nor do I want it, but I don't need it. That's the difference. And what we need in this world is more spirit of Jesus. We need more Jesus and less Satan. But the world wants Satan, and it doesn't want Jesus. Everything of Satan is fun, is cool, is hip, and everything of Jesus is boring and lame. I get it. I understand. I get it. When people going out and partying and having fun, it does suck sometimes when you sit there and you pray. But at the end of the day, I'm not thinking about me right now. I'm thinking about when I die, my flesh. I'm not going to go say YOLO, you only live once, and do everything under the sun, knowing that everything under the sun ain't good for me. I never thought like that. I never was like, I'm gonna party so hard this week. Who knows what's gonna happen? You can die in your sin. You know that, right? People don't understand. You can go sniff a line of cocaine and go have a freaking orgy and die and go straight to hell because you did not repent. But that's on you. That's all on you. I tell people, you know, we got a lot of witches and wizards in this world that are casting spells, that are, you know, hypnotizing you and doing all these crazy things that you don't even know. And there's a lot of them. They can say a couple words and cast a spell on you. They can look at you and cast a spell on you. That's how these demons operate. That's why there's so many demonic movies out right now about the same old things, same old little stupid demons that don't even be looking like that. Demons, I think they look like frogs. All these little wicked spirits all over you. But people eat that stuff up. Then let a faith movie come out. It'd be like 5 people in there. And I'm one of them. Especially if it's something that I feel like I want to see. Those movies don't last very long in the theaters. Because don't nobody want to see them. We live in a very lack of faith world. It's all demonic here. And I used to watch those movies. Maybe not to the extent of what they are today, but like The Grudge, and I watched I think the first 3 Paranormal Activities, I watched those, but that was as far as I went with it. I didn't watch The Exorcist. I never watched that whole movie in my life. And I don't like, nowadays, I can't watch that stuff because I remember back in the day, Mike's girlfriend, her brother, her sibling, committed suicide. And I remember she started getting into some occult stuff. And she was reading this Sylvia Brown book, and this lady is like a psychic, I believe. And she started trying to communicate with her brother. And I'll never forget it. And if I'm lying, I'm dying. I'm not lying. I'm telling you the God honest truth. She, on her birthday, she went to Texas, and she put on the tape recorder. And I guess before she did that, she said to her brother, "Happy birthday." She pressed play, or she hit record, went to sleep, woke up, and she heard something. I ain't going to repeat what she heard, but she heard something that sounded like a person, because I heard it multiple times. At least 30 times I've heard it. And I never felt good about it because I knew what she was doing was witchcraft. What I knew what she was doing wasn't good. It was evil. And my mom's from a place called New Orleans where a lot of voodoo is very prevalent there. So, my mom would be like, "That's voodoo. That's bad. Don't be doing that in my house, blah, blah, blah." And, so long story short, one day we was at this Christian lady's house, and my ex-girlfriend, played this audio for her, and the lady was like, "Oh my gosh, no, destroy that tape, destroy it." And my ex, she was crying because she thought she was going to lose her brother, but her brother's already gone. She didn't want to let that tape go, but what the lady said to us scared us. It scared the hell out of us, both of us. And I didn't even make the tape. She was like, "You're letting demons in your life. You're opening the door for demons." And all I felt was fear. I mean, I don't know. Think about the scariest thing you ever felt, the scariest movie you ever seen, and you can't sleep and you just feel things around you. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Fear. I ain't talking about scared of no dog or scared to get beat up, or I'm talking about like when you watch a horror movie and you can't go to sleep and you're uncomfortable. You tossing and turning, think you seeing things in the corner of your eyes. That's what I'm talking about. And when she said that she opened up doors, and then she started talking about, in Disney and the cartoons and these movies, these horror movies, when you watch these movies, you opening up these doors. Music videos. She didn't go there, but I know that now. Music videos, music, you're opening doors. You know what I'm saying? Like, the thing, the mind is a powerful thing, and the things that these people talk about in their music and these movies, their intentions, the demons come out because there's demons in these people that's making these music making this music sometimes. Some of these people are channeling Satan to make a hit song. So when you hear it on the radio, it's coming out on you. Them spirits is coming out of the speakers out of the TV, out of the radio, out of your headphones. It's coming out on you. It makes you feel that way. You go watch a horror movie, but you feel fear when you leave. You go listen to I don't know, like listen to a DMX song, make you want to fight somebody. Go listen to a Prince song, make you want to go party or something, you know what I mean? Or go listen to a R. Kelly song, make you want to go have sex. But these spirits that are on these people are coming out of their voice, out of the radio, onto you. People don't believe it, but it is what it is. That's just the way it is. We are in a spiritual world. It's called spiritual warfare. The Bible says, in this world we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against spiritual wickedness in high places. That's what we dealing with. Spiritual wickedness in high places. Demonic spirits in the atmosphere. That's what we dealing with. Not only flesh and blood, but flesh and blood ain't what we really wrestling against. It's the spirits above us that's making us feel this way, making us think this way, making us do these things, making us resist Jesus, making us want Satan, making people want to go mutilate their bodies to think that they're something that they're not. The Lord makes no mistakes. But everybody seems to think that he does. Now, in some cases, some people are born messed up. But I think that's just a birth defect. And it could be demonic spirits. We don't know. Possible. Very, very possible. And I tend to side with that a lot of these deformities are more so demonic spirits. Or you just eating some crazy stuff that's messing your body up. It's one in the two. You know? But like I said, we live in a world that craves more Satan and denies Jesus. Everybody has their own, you're entitled to your own beliefs. You're entitled to your own way of thinking, your own way of feeling. But what I know and what I'm saying is true. I mean, look at what's going on now. You say anything against anything that they're trying to push, and I'm talking about these politicians, these elitists, anything that they're trying to push, which is, everybody knows what I'm talking about. A poke. Everybody that's pushing these pokes, you speak out against it, people get mad. When you decide to not wear a mask, people get mad, but it's like, look, that's my choice. No means no, right? Or is it only entitled to women that are facing sexual assault? Can I say no to peer pressure? Can I say no to something that I don't agree with? Because my mom told me when I was a kid, don't trust strangers. Politicians, you elitists, y'all are strangers. My mom also told me when I was a kid, don't do drugs. Don't put things in your body that you don't know what it is. Hey, everything that y'all doing is something I don't agree with. So my no means very much a no. And I don't want to have to explain why I feel that way. You can't make me do something that I don't want to do. But we live in a world now where they're trying to take your rights away if you don't fall in line. I mean, people don't see it now, but a lot of people are foolish and they choose to be. And those are the people I don't even want to associate with no more. I don't talk about nothing of righteousness or knowledgeable to these type of people because they don't want to hear it anyway. I've lost friends over my walk with the Lord. I don't want to say I lost family members, but I definitely pieced out family members with my walk or with my knowledge of the things that I say because, and Kwame Brown was actually saying this. He said this before, and I sent it to a couple of family members, but what he was saying, the only reason I bring him up is because it's cool to see that there's people in this world that have the same views. And somebody on a bigger level, he's way more known than I am. You know what I mean? I'm just some Joe Schmo here. I mean, I'm cool with saying I'm a Joe Schmo because I'm nobody, and I'm okay with not being nobody. I'm a peasant to the world, but I am a man. I am a humble servant to Jesus. That's why I call myself the humble king. I am a king. I call myself a king. I'm not a nigga. I'm a king. I'm a man. First and foremost. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that he was saying, you know, I'm not going to let somebody brainwash me based on what they say. You know, and he was talking about the media and how they made a lot of black people hate Donald Trump. Now, he's a very hateable figure. I can say that because he has a nasty mouth and he seems kind of foolish at times. But at the same time, when you actually listen to him, he doesn't. I laugh at him more than anything. He's funny to me. And I don't know why he's funny. I just laugh. But I definitely don't hate him. I disliked him in the beginning because I thought he was what they said he was. But I started listening to him myself, and started hearing what he was saying and how they would say he's making fun of mentally disabled people, or he's making fun of this person. But you actually watch these videos and he's not. And it's like they're trying to make him something that he's really not. And I don't respect that. And I know that I can't trust the media. So, because the media lies all the time. They flip narratives all day long. All of them. Whether people watch them or not, they all do the same thing. So I don't rock with that. And what he said, I agreed with. You know, I'm not going to allow people to brainwash me. At least do your own research so you can see for yourself. And that's what I'll be trying to tell people. Do your own research, because you can't take somebody's word for something and expect them to be real with you. All people want to do is get you on their side so they can exploit you. That's the world we living in. These same people that are telling you these lies are pushing the narrative of Satan or Sodom and Gomorrah and pushing all this pride stuff. And it's like, this ain't good. Ain't none of this good. And I mean, I'm not trying to offend nobody, but, you know, ain't none of this stuff good. You know, and I just want people, I just wish I lived in a world where people actually wanted the Lord and it wasn't a taboo thing. Because they took out prayer out of school. They took out, you know, you can't say Jesus, but you can wear your little Muslim stuff and, you know, you can do all that. Jewish people can wear their little, I don't know what they call them, little cap things. Kufis, I think. You know, they can wear all that stuff. And that's a religious stance. But you can't go in there and praying and thanking Jesus, though. You can do everything in school. You can have a devil on your shoulder, wear a shirt with some horns and a devil, and it's cool. But you started talking about Jesus. You know, we're not allowed to pray in school, right? Shoot, I broke company policies by talking about Jesus sometimes, and I would pray with some people. That's just who I am. That's the man I'm going to be. And I prayed to the Lord for more strength and more boldness, because I do it here in my business. I talk to people about Jesus. I talk to people about the truth. And my wife's like, why do you do that? I'm like, I don't intend to do that with people. I just see where people are. Then once I see where they are, then I have the conversation. I don't just say, yeah, do you believe in Jesus? I don't do that. Because a lot of people don't. But I'm saying if I feel like you're a like-minded individual, I just see how far I can go with it. Or they see how far they can go with me, and I'll answer the questions. But some people will be like, I trust science and I trust Jesus. Like, you can't trust both. You trust one or the other, because science also, much like Freemasonry, is against Jesus, is against God, is against righteousness. Lucifer is their God. Because the thing is, in this world, Lucifer can prove and do things for them that Jesus ain't going to do for them. That's the difference. Scientists is all about show me on paper, or prove to me with this paper, or prove to me and then write on paper how you did this. They don't know how to connect with Jesus. So they don't believe. They know how to connect to Satan, and that's why they believe. That's why they do a lot of abominable things. That's why they push abominations. That's why they're, you know, y'all just quote me on this. Quote me on this. In about maybe 5 years, maybe even less than 5 years, the next thing we're going to see, because we've already seen men turn to women, women turn to men. Now, the next thing you're going to see is men that turn to women, or men that think that they're women, try to have birth. You're going to get pregnant and carry a baby. Watch. Now, this happens. Just know I ain't no conspiracy theorist. I'm just telling you what I see. And I see it coming. And there's a lot of things coming. I mean, going to be humanoid people, and I feel like the people that got these pokes, like, it's almost like you're gonna have a community of people that don't have it, just so you can keep your seed safe and your children's seed safe. You know what I mean? Because you don't want your seed mixing with these seeds, because these people clearly are no good. These people clearly have altered their genes, altered their DNA with whatever is in those pokes. And now think about 30 years from now, when your kids have kids, or your kids are having a kid, and they mate with somebody that did have their parents had a poke, or they had a poke when they were young, or like, what's going to happen with the DNA between those two people, of a person that did it and the person that did get the poke? Like, what's going to happen? Obviously, the person that did, their DNA is going to mix with the person that did it, and then there you go. It's going to keep going. So how do you keep a bloodline safe? How do you keep your DNA safe? How do you keep your genes safe from being mixed or altered with these people? You gotta have to ask questions. I mean, shoot, 50 years from now, we ain't gonna know a woman from a man woman. You know what I mean? These kids ain't gonna know anything. I don't know. But once they figure out how to shave down an Adam's apple, it's a wrap. I mean, you're gonna have to, yeah, it's gonna be a wrap. But I don't feel like we're gonna be there. And we may not, and I pray that we won't be, because this world needs to go. It needs to end. That's what I do know. It's too much going on here, for real. But like I said, man, y'all keep Jesus in your life and avoid Satan at all costs, because Satan is a slithering serpent, and he's trying to catch you slipping however he can, and catch you in your sin to kill you and take you to hell. Well, he ain't taking you nowhere. You sending yourself to hell by avoiding Jesus every day. And everybody has an appointed time for when it's time for them to give their lives to the Lord, or if they decide to. But all are called, few are chosen. Stop looking to the Bible. If you don't believe the Bible is real, stop looking to the Bible. But at the same time, everybody that said it, they look right to the Bible. Well, in the Bible, it says this. Well, you know, back in the slavery days, they used the Bible to come against the slaves. Yeah, they did. And the preachers are doing the same thing now. They're misleading people with the Bible. Not only that, same thing as the people that you look into are idolizing Satan. People can take any book and make it mean what they want to. I mean, look at what they did with the Bible. Let me put it like this. Black people will say, "Oh, you know, white people use use the Bible to control slaves." I said they used a little part of the Bible where it says, "Obey your masters," blah blah blah. I think that was in Deuteronomy. They said that. I don't know. I wasn't there, but that's what people say. Now, let's take that same Bible, that King James version that everybody has a problem with. Now let's go into Revelations when it talks about Jesus' appearance. When the Bible says his skin looked this way, his hair was of wool, had eyes of flames. Where do we get a blue-eyed, brunette-haired, white version of Jesus? Where do we get that from? If it describes a darker skinned Jesus. Riddle me that. So we're going to go off of what they did. We're going to go off of what they've done. Or we're going to go off of what is. People have carnal minds when it comes to the Bible. You can't open the book and read it and be like, "Oh, I understand this." No, you're not going to understand it. Because if you did understand it, everybody would know. In the Bible, it says, "When a man shall leave his mother and his father, he shall cleave unto his wife, and thy twain shall become one flesh." And that means when a man goes into a woman, you are married. If everybody knew that, there will be no side chicks. There will be no cheating people. There will be, because you're married to everybody that you sleep with as far as a heterosexual relationship. Everybody you sleep with, you married with. You married to spiritually. That's where soul ties come in. But it is what it is. It's another topic for another day. I've spoke on this before, but I feel like I have to keep reminding people sometimes. But thank y'all for listening. I'm out. Peace out. Be blessed.